What if I told you that the janitor you pass by every day could be the one holding the keys to the entire company? Well, that's exactly what happened. After 15 years of working behind the scenes, a black janitor made a shocking move that no one saw coming. He fired the CEO of the company, and they never even knew he owned it. This is the incredible story of how one man changed the fate of a multi-million-dollar empire, and trust me, you won't believe the twists. Stick around to find out how he did it and why everything you thought you knew about success is about to change forever. It was another typical morning Evergreen Enterprises. Employees filled the office with their usual chatter, coffee mugs in hand, discussing everything from their weekend plans to office gossip. On the top floor, the CEO, Mr. Jonathan Bishop, sat in his luxurious office, basking in the view of the city's skyline. He had been in charge for 15 years, and during that time, the company had flourished under his leadership. His name was known far and wide, and his reputation was built on power, success, and the prestige that came with running such a renowned corporation. But behind the polished exterior of the company, there was a secret that no one suspected. While the staff worked hard at their desks, the janitor, Marcus Bennett, was busy in the background. A quiet, humble man, Marcus never attracted attention to himself. His job was simple: clean the floors, make sure the offices were neat, and keep everything in order.
What no one knew, however, was that Marcus wasn't just a janitor. He was the owner of Evergreen Enterprises, and today he was about to take the reins.
Marcus Bennett had never been one to seek attention. While others in the office flaunted their status, Marcus quietly went about his work, ensuring the office was always spotless and well maintained. His faded janitor's uniform was his only identification, and no one suspected that the man who cleaned the floors and took out the trash was the true owner of Evergreen Enterprises. For years, he had silently watched, observing the decisions made by the CEO, Mr. Jonathan Bishop, and the executive team. Marcus had inherited the company from a distant relative who had founded Evergreen Enterprises, but he kept his ownership a secret. He wanted to see how the business would evolve on its own, without the influence of his wealth or title. Over the years, he had worked in every department, from the warehouse to the executive floors, learning the intricacies of every role. From marketing strategies to the complexities of accounting, Marcus knew the business inside and out. While the company grew, Marcus watched as the leadership made decisions that benefited themselves but hurt the employees: layoffs, bonus cuts, and a toxic culture. He knew something had to change, and he realized he was the one who needed to make it happen. It was just another Monday morning when Marcus knew it was time to act. He arrived early, as always, to begin his cleaning duties before the office buzzed to life. But today was different. But today, Marcus wasn't here to clean. He had come to take control. Every detail had been carefully planned. The legal documents were prepared, his assistant was briefed, and the staff had been notified of the upcoming changes. The time had finally come for Marcus to confront the CEO.
At exactly 10 a.m., Marcus's assistant called Mr. Bishop's office, informing him that he was expected in the boardroom. With a mix of calm confidence and anticipation, Marcus waited for the CEO's arrival. When Jonathan Bishop walked in, his posture was confident, even smug. As the CEO, he had no idea what was about to unfold.
Marcus stood up from his seat as Mr. Bishop entered, walked over to the desk, and laid down a set of legal documents. Mr. Bishop, he began, his voice firm but calm, I believe it's time for a change in leadership. Jonathan glanced at the documents, confusion spreading across his face. What is this? He asked. As he read, realization hit him like a freight train. The papers were the transfer of ownership documents. Marcus Bennett wasn't just a janitor. He was the rightful owner of Evergreen Enterprises. For a long moment, Mr. Bishop stood frozen, his mind struggling to process what was happening. His eyes darted from the documents to Marcus, his face a mask of disbelief. You're the owner of this company? He stammered, his voice cracking as the realization hit him. Marcus nodded slowly, his gaze unwavering. Yes, Jonathan. I've owned this company for 15 years, and I've watched you run it into the ground. The color drained from Jonathan's face as the weight of Marcus's words sank in. His mind raced. His power, his reputation, everything he had worked for over the past 15 years was suddenly in jeopardy. His mouth opened, but no words came out. His position was slipping away faster than he could comprehend. Marcus, however, remained calm. He had watched the destruction caused by Jonathan's decisions for far too long, and now it was time to take charge. "You've hurt the people here," Marcus said firmly. "You've laid off hardworking employees, taken bonuses, and left the company's culture in shambles. That ends today."
Without hesitation, Marcus delivered the final blow. "You're fired."
The words hung in the air as a stunned silence filled the room. Jonathan, the CEO of Evergreen Enterprises, had just been fired by the janitor who had been quietly watching and waiting all along. As Jonathan Bishop stumbled out of the room, his mind still reeling from the shock, Marcus sat back in his chair, a quiet sense of relief and calm washing over him. This was the moment he had been waiting for, the moment when years of patience, observation, and preparation had finally come to fruition. The power shift was complete. Marcus wasn't just the janitor anymore. He was now the man in charge. The news of Jonathan's firing spread like wildfire through the office. The employees, who had long dismissed Marcus as nothing more than a quiet janitor, now looked at him with a mixture of disbelief and newfound respect. The man who had always been unseen, who had swept their floors and taken out their trash, was now their leader. In the weeks that followed, Marcus took swift and decisive control of the company. His first priority was to meet with the employees, listen to their concerns, and hear their struggles. He promised them a future built on fairness, transparency, and mutual respect. Marcus knew the business inside and out, and he was ready to lead with integrity. Under his leadership, Evergreen Enterprises quickly transformed from a symbol of corporate greed to a company that truly valued its people. If you love this story, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments below, and send this video to someone who needs a little inspiration today. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Join the journey for more incredible, life-changing stories just like this one. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.